I take a few shots. They're too tough.
Okay, so ready to dive into something new?
Always up for a challenge. What have we got?
Well, today it's Combat Siege, and it's got me intrigued. It's a browser-based strategy game.
So right off the bat, accessibility points.
Yeah, exactly. No massive downloads or anything. You just jump in, and it sounds like it packs in a lot. We're talking base, building, resource management.
Gotta have that.
Oh, absolutely. And then, the heart of it, those intense multiplayer battles.
Sounds like a classic RTS setup.
It does, but with some interesting twists, at least from what I'm seeing here in the game overview. Actually, that's what we're basing this whole deep dive on, excerpts straight from the developers themselves. Kind of a peek behind the curtain.
I like it. Straight to the source. So what's caught your eye so far?
Well, the thing that jumped out at me is this unconquerable base idea.
Unconquerable, huh? That's a bold claim.
Right. But it's not that it's invincible. You can totally lose your base.
Okay, so what's the catch?
The catch is you always get a new one. Like, it's not game over if your base gets wiped out.
Huh. So you're always in the game, no matter what.
It seems that way, yeah. And I'm thinking that's got to change how people play,
Oh, for sure. Like, imagine you're up against a tougher opponent.
Right.
But you could use that. Make your base look vulnerable, almost like a trap.
So they attack, thinking they've got you.
Boom. They take the bait. But meanwhile, your allies are ready to pounce, and you're already rebuilding.
It's like turning a loss into a strategic move.
Yeah, like a high-risk gamble, but with a huge potential payoff.
Definitely not your typical RPS. And then on top of that, there's how the game handles starting positions.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Your home base always spawns near your allies.
Yeah.
Right from the start, you're close together.
So it's encouraging teamwork right off the bat. Forces you to think bigger than just your own little base.
Yeah, instead of that mad scramble to, grab territory.
You're immediately coordinating.
Exactly. Which makes sense given the way resources work.
How does that play into it?
It's a dynamic system. Basically, the more bases there are on the map, the more resources everyone gets.
So it benefits everyone to spread out and build up the map.
Right. But there's a twist. If you cluster too many bases together in one spot, production actually goes down for everyone.
Interesting. So it's this balancing act, right?
Yeah. Like you want to work together to get those resources flowing.
But you also don't want to crowd each other out.
Exactly. And then we haven't even gotten into the storage side of things.
Yeah. Gotta manage those resources somehow.
So you've got factories, processing units, all that good stuff. But the thing is, each new building you add gives you a smaller bonus than the one before. Diminishing returns.
Makes sense. Prevents anyone from just spamming the same building and getting an insane advantage.
It forces you to diversify. Think about your strategy. Adapt to the situation. No easy shortcuts.
Definitely sounds like a game that rewards planning and flexibility. And speaking of adapting, what about the units themselves?
Oh yeah. Combat Siege has a pretty varied roster of units, each with its own, strengths and weaknesses.
Like classic RTS, you've got to know what each unit can do.
Exactly. You could have a fast scout unit that's amazing for harassment, but...
Send it against a heavy tank and it's toast.
Exactly. The wrong unit in the wrong situation, and you're in trouble.
So unit composition is going to be key, depending on the map, the enemy, and your overall strategy.
Oh yeah, and the maps are another interesting element. Each one has a unique layout, and how the resources are distributed is different too.
So a strategy that works on one map might completely backfire on another.
Absolutely. You can't just memorize one build order and call it a day.
Yeah.
You really got to adapt.
It's like each battle is its own puzzle. Love that.
Yeah, and then there's this thing called production boosts. You can activate them to temporarily ramp up your resource gathering.
Ooh, that could be a game changer. Like say you're under heavy attack, need to pump out defenses quickly.
Boom. Boost activated. Suddenly you've got the resources to turn things around.
I'm guessing there are some limitations though, right? Cooldown timers, limited uses, something like that.
Probably. I mean, if it was just a free resource boost all the time, that'd be a bit overpowered.
Yeah, gotta have some balance. But it definitely adds another layer of strategy to the mix.
So you're constantly weighing risks and rewards. Do you play it safe, or do you gamble on a risky attack knowing you can always rebuild? Do you focus on one type of unit, or do you diversify? Do you use your boost now or save it for later?
A lot to think about. It sounds like it's really challenging players to think strategically at every level.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really curious, and I always like to end these deep dives with something very easy to chew on. With this whole unconquerable base thing, how do you think that changes the game? Would you play more aggressively knowing you have that safety net? Would you take more risks? Let us know what you think, especially if you give Combat Siege a try. We'd love to hear your take.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive. Until next time.
CNT.
Bye.